You work all night for a drink of rum.
John Baker, a UK music executive who sold his label to Richard Branson in 2000 and set up shop in Jamaica. His resort starting with just 7 rooms in the leafy hills just outside Port Antonio.
I missed the memo that you can make money in the hotel business if you have more rooms.
A mistake later corrected shortly before the onset of COVID by taking out a loan to build 12 more. But this self-described reluctant hotelier's real passion was always music.
When I was at the Chelsea School of Art in '77, roots reggae artists were all exiled, a lot of them to London. So the whole punk movement was merged with the reggae movement. And that actually was my first main introduction to reggae, and kind of stayed with me ever since, and here I am.
Before becoming a hotel, G-Jam a sort of one-stop holiday getaway and recording studio, where platinum-selling names such as Gorillaz, No Doubt and Arcade Fire made some of their biggest albums. The Rolling Stones were here last year, creating a bit of mayhem when they crashed a nearby wedding. Another marriage occurring much earlier, around 2008, of Jamaican mento and covers of UK pop hits, resulting in a new lease on life for the Jolly Boys, a banjo-playing group of traditional crooners already getting on in age, securing them a record deal and an album, with which they then hit the road. The improbability of it is breathtaking.
It's bonkers. We did all the major European festivals. They were endeared by the youth of Europe and England. We did Isle of Wight, we did them all.
Plus a tour with Sade and unreleased music that's since been supplemented with newer vocals. The Jolly Boys have now all passed, but with the death in April of Harry Belafonte, G-Jam taking another look at their late and very improbable stars.
There's going to be an album coming.
There's a whole album. We have other modern mentor tracks. We have a live album. We have a whole host of material that, you know.
And now we've got distribution, and we've got our label set up, and Dale's now the label manager apart from producer, and we've got some new people involved.
Nowadays also, G-Jam playing host to writers and recording retreats.
That's when a A&R man or a management company wants to get away from the distractions of the cities, and they bring the artist or they bring a group of writers or both. We set up 4 or 5 different recording facilities or writing facilities. They'll be here from a week to 2 weeks, and they make hits.
Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearl.
Brown Skin came out, it was written here.
Brown skin girl, your skin just...
Sam Smith record, Unholy, was in this room was written. So we're still very current.
You can take my freedom, I'm waiting for change.
There was lots of other artists, writers, but you know, I started the demos there that I've finished now.
I've been down before, there's only one way to go.
Former TV talent show contestant Damien Soul putting final touches to his upcoming EP with a little help from G-Jam in-house producer Dale Dizzle Virgo.
My uncle in the UK introduced me to John. He showed him my music, and the next thing was I got a phone call. Damien, I want to work with you.
I've been through it all, my back to the wall, I let them keep talking.
I never imagined I would be here doing what I'm doing, so it's kind of a dream come true.
Writing camp is happening. It's just electric. Everybody is inspired.
And look how we have no neighbours except for ourselves.
Yeah.
So we can go 24/7 and we're not affecting anybody.
G-Jam very much a family affair. Baker's kids with
all Jamaican passports, very proud of it.
His son Troy has taken his own sound system called Beat the System all the way to Los Angeles.
We'll bring the real Jamaican vibe, we'll mix the old and the new, you know, we'll respect both, so we'll promote both. You know, and it's a real vibe. People love it over there. It's a real sound system with columns and everything.
Baker's other son, Che, told his dad about a hot new DJ in Jamaica, which soon led to a publishing deal with gunman shift toaster Skeng.
I mean, no joke, I'm in my 60s now. My 16-year-old son always check up on the music, Che. Always check on, what are you listening to? He says, Dad, you've got to sign this artist. I said, well, I'm not really, you know, I'm sort of focused on the hotel. Anyway, he convinced me, so we did a publishing arrangement with Skeng and his producers. And when you sign to GJam just for publishing, and we have a completely different philosophy than the industry as a whole, you become part of a family. If you say, I got some ideas, I need to get away, you've got the studio, you've got a writing room, they can escape down here without all the stress.
Trap Hall with its critics and yet to produce a major international hit, but Baker not bothered by the negative hoopla around the new sound.
The trap dancehall scene is edgy, it's young, it's rebellious. It's like, you know, when I hear people my age saying, oh, I can't understand that, can't like that, I think there must be something to that then.
As a producer, what you feel about that?
Well, you know, a couple of us are trying to rein a team back and bring back the dancehall elements in it.
So you want to bring back the dancehall?
I mean, it's
element.
Important. I mean,
that's
it made us
important
popular.
to you.
Yeah,
It made us popular, and you know, I respect the trap dancehall artists. So, you know, what we need is more experienced producers collaborating with the younger ones. You know, and you know, we'll have that DNA and that formula that dancehall had. You know, and.
I kind of disagree. I personally think that there is room for young people to express themselves. And you know what? I hear all this criticism. Oh yeah, the gangsterism and this and that. They are a reflection of their environment. So if people are offended by it, then be offended by what's going on in this planet.
Back to that publishing deal with Skeng.
Own's the wrong word. What we've tried to do is
What's the right word, John?
We administrate it. Yeah, let me explain. Most of the, you know, a lot of people come down from foreign and say, oh yes, we'll collect all these, we'll register these songs and we'll get you the money and everything else. And then they don't realize, but they're signing long-term deals. Skeng has his own publishing company, we admin. He has his own record company, which is admin. In 3 years' time, if he wants to go elsewhere, he can. It's not for the long term now. It's more for trying to educate people to be independent and not fall into those tragic pitfalls they did in the 70s.
So it can be a template for how other
and more people are picking it up
youngsters
now.
in the local music industry engage with, you know,
so predominantly
pirates from abroad.
And
sometimes they're not always
and from here, trust me. No, I think the way to look at it is the industry's changed. You've just got to set up these platforms, and if they listen and they really want to get into that side of it, then in 20-30 years they can have a real asset.
What was it about him apart from Che's recommendation that appealed?
He is the whole package. Image, persona. His songwriting is unique, and his raspy delivery no one can mimic, and that's what makes him unique. When I had G Street Records and we did RZA, Jungle Brothers, Queen Latifah, they were all first of their genres. I see Skeng as first of his particular side.
So who next? Valiant?
We love Valiant.
So 30 years later, and from Jolly Boys all the way to Skeng, GJam's John Baker not missing a beat. Are you a kind of latter-day Chris Blackwell?
He's my mentor, let's leave it at that. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for the influence of Chris. For me, my first love is music and developing artists and young people, and I'll do that to my grave, so that's never going to change. And in a way, it's the same with the hotel. We have, I think, 90% of our staff, and we have 75 there now, have never worked in the hospitality business. If you read our TripAdvisor reviews, all the guests say our staff care, they're sincere. It's none of this grin and grit, full smiley business. They might not always get it right, but they're a nice bunch of young people doing their thing.